We're going to get started right away with Ruth Williams, who is the founder and CEO of EriTea. Come on up, Ruth.
Good afternoon. Bottled tea is the most widely consumed beverage in the world next to water and is found in almost 80% of all U.S. households. It is the only beverage that is served iced, hot, cold, anywhere, anytime, on any given occasion. The simplicity of ready-to-drink teas are a thing of the past, and consumers are being presented with bottled teas that are brewed tea concentrate, caramel color, boost the appearance of tea-like qualities, and often change in nutritional content. But I'm here to change that. Once again, my name is Ruth Williams, and I'm a third-generation, self-proclaimed tea connoisseur, founder and CEO of EriTea. As I was growing up, I remember waking up to the fragrance that filled our home. I remember the stories that my mother would share and memories of how we moved from Eritrea to Sudan and settled here to the US. We had to reflect the name of Eritrea with EriTea. With a few play on words, we came up with the brand name. I vividly remember my mother would take the whole spices and the fresh tea leaves and crush them and steep them into water with only one sugar cube and ended up as shahik mim, which is translated into spiced tea. Fast forward 30 years later, and we flavored up the beverage world with spice-infused teas that have been the best-kept family generational recipe, 105 years to be exact, and invigorates your senses the moment you open up the bottle top. EriTea is a good-for-you brand, and we are bringing consumers back to the basics. We pride ourselves on being pure, healthy, and spice-brewed. Because we are lightly sweetened, only 80 calories regardless of flavor, and provide a clean ingredient label, we use the same nostalgic spices that my great-grandmother would use, such as ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves. These blends of aromatic spices complement all three SKUs, original, lemon, and raspberry. But why do the details even matter? Because consumers actually care, and so do I. EriTea is a convenient, good-for-you brand and doesn't sacrifice on taste or quality. We offer the grab-and-go convenience, and we don't sacrifice on flavors or calories to enhance the freshly brewed tea. With over 39 gallon billions of tea being consumed, EriTea is ready to dive into the opportunity for the spiced brewed tea category. EriTea is not made up for only the 80% of Americans who consume iced tea beverage every day, but we are for those who are simply ready to dive into aromatic, great-tasting teas. Our shelf-stable teas have an MSRP of $2.95 and were launched the fourth quarter of 2021 and gain an online direct to consumers. Knowing this was only the beginning, I began to reach out to local retailers. Being based outside of Washington, D.C., we were ready to dive into the low-cost marketing techniques with the goal of initially saturating locally, regionally, and nationally. After watching the proof of concept, I took a step further and became minority and woman-owned. After the grueling process, we are now in 152 Meijer stores and are currently in conversations with Albertsons targeting the Northeast region, in addition to Giant Stop and Shop, and I'm currently proud to say that we are distributed by KeHE. With all the red tape that I've encountered as a Black female founder, I know that I actually want to just know how to get into the boys club, right? And so as I do know that there are some investors here, please do not be shy. Come and talk to me afterwards. Because this incredible opportunities that we are presented with now, we need the additional funding to expand our growth and present opportunities that we have right now. We don't want to let it go. We would like to focus on building the strong store relationships before diving into national opportunities. However, although expanding EriTea is my top priority, it wouldn't mean a thing without our 1% commitment. With each sip, EriTea consumers support us by combining global connection to global impact, and support us with global connection with global impact in order to support ethical and global campaigns that support refugees, as I once was myself, to gain access to education, the English language program, and also build self-sufficient, socially, civically, and educated other human beings as well. Thank you.
Great presentation. Well done. If you can just slide over here, if I don't knock over my own podium. Chuck, let's start with you. At the price point and positioning that EriTea is and what it represents, how do you consider this in terms of the distribution opportunity?
What is the price point?
$2.95, did you say?
$2.95. Yeah, I think it could actually be elevated because I thought the product, the taste and everything with the cardamom was felt very high premium, and I don't think the packaging is doing justice of what's inside the bottle. So maybe even going to $3.99 in a glass bottle would really position yourself, and I think retailers right now are looking for more glass as much as cost prohibitive it can be, but I think you might have a better story selling glass and a little more premium to give even the retailer and distributor a little more margin and room to work.
Did you want to respond?
Yes, so I got feedback yesterday on just the labeling, just in case someone tries to talk about it again. The lemon, that was my fault. That was the wrong image I used. There's original and then all caps lemon, and it's not supposed to be that way. Wrong image.
It's very lemony, is what you're trying to do. John, spice brewed tea. What are your thoughts on EriTea?
Yeah, I admittedly wasn't sure what to expect, but it's really good. And what I like about it is that, unlike other sort of tea alternatives or super premium teas that are introducing these things where you might have to go Google what they are, they're familiar ingredients. So it's interesting to see familiar ingredients paired with tea, and it sort of it makes it like an elevated experience. I think. I would agree with what Chuck said completely. Had the exact same thoughts. I feel like the liquid is really good, and it feels like something that's got some teeth to it, at a mainstream level. It just feels like there's something not quite there in the packaging. And look, there's a million variables of different bottles, or go to glass or can, whatever it is. But I'd love to see those a little more in sync. The story is it's great. So yeah, nice work.
So in regards to packaging, I think I need to change the packaging because I've definitely heard that over and over again. And obviously, as a startup company, bootstrapping, we just kind of go what fits within the budget.
Yep.
But it's definitely something to look at as we sort of go into our next couple of production runs.
Mm-hmm. Dan, as Ruth does refine the packaging for EriTea, what do you think about this opportunity given its positioning? And I mentioned yesterday to your colleague that Coke has a bit of a refined approach to the tea category itself. So given that context, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, there's so many subsegments of tea to compete in, so I think that's one of the biggest opportunities you have. I think, Coke looks at big addressable opportunities, and so, I don't think that the idea around spiced tea and how it could be disruptive to the tea category, I think would be really interesting. The liquid's absolutely amazing. It's so good. On the package, it's an easy fix, I think, and you've got a beautiful brand story behind it, and a lot of the personal passion I think just can come through in the product itself. So thanks for sharing yourself through the product as well.
Yeah, Cassie, let's follow up on that. A pretty remarkable brand story, founder story. How much does that play into your decision to bring a brand like this on?
It absolutely does, and it gets you kind of a door in to me, obviously, but I'm expecting the product to be able to carry that message. And again, not to beat a dead horse, I didn't pick that up at all when I saw the product. When I tasted it, I'll be honest with you, the original blew my mind. I thought I need to drink all of this right now. I wasn't as excited about the flavor varieties. And so I would just challenge you to look there. Is it adding any functionality of bringing these additional ingredients in? And then for me, I don't love selling singles. I like trading customers up into a multi-pack. So I would just encourage you to potentially look at, on that original flavor, how do you get into a multi-pack sooner? And I do think the feedback from Chuck was dead on. Is glass the way to get there? I do think the product should be as a premium as the story is. And I really loved you sharing your story. Thank you.
And great feedback.
Thank you.
Great presentation, Ruth. Thank you.